Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just Kyle Karam here coming at you from the Seymour High School Choirs. It is good to see everybody, or good to see the views, I guess, ticking up on these videos. And it was great to see everybody last night for sure. We had a good turnout last night for the meeting, the pizza and ice cream meeting, and I think that was a smashing success. But it was good just to talk with everybody and get it kind of, get some information out there and kind of get the ball rolling even more on the semester. So I wanted to check in with you guys. I wanted to make a recap video. I had some parents reach out about a recap video, and so of course I like to do those. So I've got three major things we want to talk about today. Number one is the mattress fundraiser. Number two is our spring events, mostly our ISMA Choral Festival, and then also ending with a New York City trip update. So let's dive in here. I'm not going to go over every detail that they went over last night, but I'm going to hit some of obviously the main points here, and just kind of get this rolling. So this is one of our big events of this spring is our mattress fundraiser. So our mattress fundraiser, it has potential, and it has in the past been our biggest fundraiser. It's really cool when we can do that. So this year, again, our 7th annual mattress fundraiser, taking place April 13th, 2025, right? So Sunday, April 13th, 2025 in the auxiliary gym. And so this is a one-day event. This is not something where your students have to go door to door and try selling mattresses. Instead, the company comes out here, they put up a showroom inside of the aux gym, and then people come in from the Seymour community and buy a mattress from the event, right? And so it's a cool thing to do for us, and I think it's been really successful in the past. So we need your help doing that. And the biggest way we need your help is promoting and promotion. And that comes from like referrals and telling other parents and other adults about a mattress fundraiser. This is, again, not something where you're walking around with a brochure taking mattress orders. That'd be quite a bit. At least there's a showroom where people can come in the one day and test out a mattress and all that stuff. So let's kind of dive into a few of these things here. It does work. That's why we've done it for 6, now going on 7 years. In the past 3 years, we've raised a total of $12,000, and that's about $4,000 per, if you do the math, that's $4,000 per year. And so it really starts to add up. It's, not like a candy bar where you get, just 40 cents or whatever for every candy bar. We're obviously making, we're doing, much more per item than something like candy bars or, of course, butter braids or anything like that. So we've been wildly successful. Our first year, I'll talk in number of beds. I won't talk necessarily in numbers as much, but like our first year was our biggest year, and we sold 44 mattresses that year. We did very, very well. And then our lowest year was a few years ago. It was probably 2021. And I think we did like 18 mattresses that year. So we want to be more in that 40 to 45, even maybe 50 range, because we will do very, very well if that's the case. And of course, everything that we do, every penny that we make goes right back into the students. And so if you're looking for a mattress, come on out. We'd love to see you. But also, we need your help promoting this to get other people to come in and purchasing a quality mattress. And then, of course, that benefits the choir program. So one of the kind of their business model is they use our building and our electricity and our water as part of their overhead. So they can cut some overhead costs by using our facilities. And so that's how they're able to kind of lower the prices of these mattresses, even though they're name brand mattresses. So they've done really well at these events. Here's a couple that are about our size, or I guess comparable situations to us, but the Greenfield Central Bands did over $11,000 in one day. This is a one-day event. Indian Creek, that's just north of here. What is that, like Trafalgar? They did $6,400 in one day, and we've been at that mark. We've not hit 11,000. I'll share that. We've never hit 11,000 in one day, but we could. We could, if everybody just kind of pools our resources and kind of everybody taps into a bit of their network, we could certainly make that work. So anything that I touch on, feel free to obviously pause the video to read the whole slide. But this is essentially, this is not a new company. This is not a new concept. This is not something that we're hoping will work. There is a proven track record here of success of this sort of fundraiser model. So why the match fundraiser works, and there's just some more examples there of bands that have raised some money for various things. And we've got a trip coming up. You know, we want to provide for our students for our daily activities like suits and dresses and sheet music and equipment and personnel and all that sort of stuff, but workshops. But there's some other big picture things that are coming up that I would really like help with, that the students need some help with. So is there that many people buying mattresses? Essentially, this says, you know, in the greater Seymour area, we count about 31,000 people. 1 in 10 buy a new mattress every year. So we're talking 3,100 people in the greater Seymour area need a mattress. And so our job is to go out and find as many of those as possible. So if we can find, you know, if we get 1% of that, that's 31 mattresses. Imagine if we get 2% of those 3,100 people, 62 mattresses. That would change our lives down here. 62 mattresses, and that's only 2% of the, you know, market potential, I guess. I'm not a businessman or a salesman, but this kind of stuff, I don't know, it's kind of cool. Unlike other fundraisers where you have to sell hundreds of I kind of talked about that earlier. We can do the volume of 30, 40, 50 units and do our best fundraiser we've ever had. So this year, I've been actually really impressed. So in the past, they've had good brands, somewhat noticeable and namesake brands, but they're really starting to bring in brands that are really well known. So this isn't something like, do I trust this brand? I mean, we're talking Beauty Rest, Purple, Therapeutic, and then Helix and Englander. Those are some quality brands there, and they will talk a lot about their quality and about their customer satisfaction. That's not something that's sort of in my realm, but I see these brands and go, oh, okay, like they're, even from years past, this is sort of like a level up in their brands and their offerings. So this is what the showroom essentially looks like. They bring in 25 to 30 mattresses for people to try out, and people just kind of walk in, and the sales they're not pushy. They just kind of welcome everybody in. Hey, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. And they just kind of let you go and test out some mattresses. And do you like soft, firm, or medium? And you know, they might ask you some questions about your preferences and maybe help you along that process. But this is generally what it is, and it's, again, they're using our space for their facilities of sorts that way. So lots that the customer gets: same bed, same warranty, better service, better price. They stand by that because, again, they're able to cut some costs on the overhead side, and so they pass those savings and those profits off to us. So, and the money stays in the community, of course, helping the choirs and doing big picture stuff and our daily day-to-day operations. So how can we make this a success? The biggest thing is to help us actually get the word out. Every person that walks in the Aux Gym on April 13th heard about that sale one way or another. A few people here, you see the yard signs or see the banners or see a Facebook post. Most people come in, they run the numbers, and it's like 80 to 85% of people come in because a student or a student's family member told them about the event, and they came out and supported the program. So that's huge. That's huge. So the individual referrals is what makes this one tick, right? So, and then I just talked about that. 80% of the referrals that's the number one key to this to success of this fundraiser and to this event. There are some student incentives as well, especially if your student is considering going to our New York City trip, or our if they're in varsity and they go to retreat, or if they want to use it for a solo and ensemble event. We can certainly make any sort of extra cost that's associated with the choirs. We can use that money we can use those referral money for this. So student referrals, one referral $25, two $50, three $100, five $200, and 10 referrals is $500 toward their account, I guess. And the account is held by our Boosters Club, so it's not something that I hold, but they are organizing that. We're also going to need help on the day of the event. If you are interested in wearing one of these awesome mattress costumes, I wore one year, and it's just a lot of fun to get people out and excited about this mattress fundraiser and bringing people in. So other promotional tools we have, we've got some posters and some yard signs that are going to be going out. There's a little QR code on there, and there's going to be, like I said, yard signs, posters. If take a poster and put it anywhere, especially like church bulletin boards or break rooms or we've got plenty of posters. We got plenty of yard signs. How can we help? So go ahead, feel free to right now pause this video and text the word Seymour to 765-244-6229, and that will send you an invitation code, and then that invitation code, or that invitation like text, copy and paste, and you can just send it to everybody. So that's a really effective way. A lot of people will get a text, especially if it's from someone they know. They'll at least open it, and we can get the word out. So feel free to send that text to parents, friends, neighbors, other family, co-workers, fellow churchgoers, all that sort of fun stuff. Shoot a goal of at least 10, because if 10% of people who need a mattress in this community, if everybody sends 10 of those texts chances are you'll have at least one family member who needs a mattress, and then we've opened that door for them to come on in. Local heroes, military, active and veteran, EMT, police, fire, teacher, I believe teachers, nurses, I believe, EMS, first responders, they qualify for this additional discount, 10% off as a thank you to them, and I think that's a really cool thing. So if you are one of those local heroes, we appreciate you, number one, and number two, there's that opportunity for you to earn a little bit extra. We have yard signs going out in the community. I'm going to give some students some yard signs very, very soon here to get the word out. We're coming up pretty quick on this one, and so if we can get, we've got like 100 yard signs. If we can get every single one of them up around the community, that is going to be huge, 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 huge. Number one key to success, again, is the referrals. Sending that text out to at least 10, if not 20, if not 100 people, just to share that and get that out there. Okay, the last thing is Mattress Solutions is now their new storefront. This was new to me last night. I did not know this until last night. They actually have a new storefront in Greenwood, so not even that far away, where they kind of have the same, they have a mattress set up and everything, and you can go to Greenwood, and if you purchase a mattress from there, you just make sure you tell them, I would like to give credit to Seymour High School choirs, and then potentially a student and Sally Smith or whatever, and then we can get credit for that student and our school. So instead of, and so they'll do that sort of sharing of the proceeds there. So cool. Where am I at time-wise? All right, we're going to get right into this then, which is ISMA Choral Festival. So we have some events coming up very, very soon here, and spring is a busy, busy time for the choirs, and there's a lot going on. So We could use your help in a lot of areas, but we especially, I guess, let me kind of go through our events. Our next event is the Mattress Fundraiser, Sunday, April 13th. Then we have choral concert. We call it the Spring Sing and Senior Send Off, Thursday, April 24th. 2 days later, Saturday, April 26th, we have Choral Festival, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Then we come around May 8th, we have Slices and Songs. And 1 week from there, May 15th is our Choir Awards Cookout. So we have kind of a pretty jam-packed schedule over a month, 5 pretty significant events in about a month. So we could use your help, but especially the number one thing we need everybody's help on is ISSMA Choral Festival. That is an event, again, it's April 26th, it's a Saturday. Let me go over some essentials here. Saturday, April 26th, April 26th, April 26th. Times I do not have as of the time of this recording, but I'm expecting those times to be released within the next day or two. So as soon as I know, I'll shoot them out to the students and to the parents and say, hey, here's kind of the performance times and the call times, all that sort of stuff. Because it's here at Seymour High School, it is a much shorter commitment for the Seymour students. It used to be we would bus up to Columbus East and bus back, and that would add an hour and a half to everyone's day. This is here, and so it's generally about a 2-hour time commitment for the students. For our volunteers, it's depending on the job, it can be longer. But again, once I know some times, I'll kind of let you know. This is an ISSMA-related event, ISSMA, which stands for the Indiana State School Music Association. They host, I think it's like 16 or 17 sites statewide, and we are one of them. In fact, we've grown. There was one year where we were like 5 or 6 choirs, and now we're probably 12, 13 choirs. So we've added quite a bit, and that's a pretty healthy event. So it's one that I think is definitely ISSMA's looking at, going, hey, that's worth doing. So then we have. We host other schools, like I said. So it's a shorter day for the Seymour students because they just show up. We get prepared, we get focused, we do our thing, and then kids can get out of their concert clothes and head home. Other schools who have attended, Bedford North Lawrence usually comes, Columbus North usually comes, Columbus East usually comes, Franklin Community comes. They come from all the way from Franklin when they actually host the weekend before, and then they come here because they really like our site, and they also get an extra week to prepare. But Martinsville has come, East Central, South Decatur, those sort of schools that are not far, Batesville, not far from us, within a decent little drive. They show up here for our event, and it's a really good event every year. We're really proud of it. We try to do a lot. Carla and I try to do a lot on the front end to really prepare for it, so that way the day of, our volunteers can just show up and be good to go. So then the choirs perform. So the day consists of a few major things. So everybody gets settled into their homerooms, and then they come for warm-up, and they kind of get mentally prepared and vocally prepared. Then they go to the stage, and they sing 3 songs for the judges, and there are 3 judges, and they're all they assess all three assess all 3 songs. And then they give us they give all the choirs really important feedback, and then a score, and the score is then attached to a rating: gold, silver, bronze, or participant. And so gold is obviously the goal, and the gold they have new the last few years is gold with distinction. So that means you scored in the top half of points for gold, and so you exceeded even the gold standards. So and then after everyone performs, then they head into another room and they do sight reading. So sight reading is where you sit down and you are given 3 snippets of music, 3 examples, and you're expected to perform that example within just a few minutes. So it's pretty cool. So all the performances are in EDPA, Earl D. Prout Auditorium. And the sight reading, as of right now, is planning to be in room 409, which is the new choir room. And then all 4 choirs, SHS choirs, will perform that day. So that's really important. Last year, we had the freshman choir go to another site the weekend before, and then the next weekend they came back here, and they were our volunteers. So that that helped us. This year, we don't have that opportunity because all of the choirs are going to perform that week or that day. So this is where we need your help. Because all of the choirs are going to be performing this year, we don't have those students to be able to free them up to volunteer. We are currently working on building relationships with National Honor Society, with Key Club, with the Booster Club, and the parents in general. But largely, we're stronger together, and we really need people to come out and just do a couple small things and really get this to flow. And what I promise you is that I'm going to do a lot of work on the front end. I have written a handbook for this event. And my goal is then I'm going to have a bunch of clipboards. Everybody gets a clipboard, and you can read your job description. You can follow the map. You can follow the schedule, and pew, 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 you're good to go. And so that's I want to make it easy for everyone. I don't want anybody to feel chaotic for anyone. Okay, I want to control that chaos. So quickly, some volunteer roles here. Friday night setup, that's pretty big. We set up the auditorium, the choir room, the band room, and the judges room, including the judges tables. Well, that's auditorium. Headquarters, where we do the score sheets, we do tabulation, and we do plaques. Tabulation is like the scores, like putting the scores in, making sure they add up. School guides, that is the welcoming committee. You walk the schools through to each of their rooms and keep everybody on time. And then you also help with the transporting of judges' music. Judges liaison, that's our prep and hospitality room, setting up the lunch, any specific requests that they have, setting up we're going to set up a coffee maker for them, and just being hospitable. We have ushers who are in the auditorium lobby helping intercept judges' sheet music, getting them to the judges, and when they're done, taking them from the judges and getting to the runners. Managing traffic, the biggest part of that is making sure no person enters the auditorium when a choir is on stage. That is an ISMA rule, an ISMA guideline, and also handing out some programs. Judges' assistants, handling the actual the judge's assistant sits with the judge, and they handle the sheet music. They double check scores, and then they hand the sheet music off. So they they're managing the folders that are in front of them, and then shipping them off to the ushers and the runners. Warm-up room, someone who can manage the traffic, getting choirs in one door, managing their time, giving them 5-minute warning, 2-minute warning, 30-second warning, stuff like that, and then getting them out the door and helping them with those things. And then Saturday breakdown, of course, that's resetting the facilities. That's going back to Friday, taking everything we did for Friday night and reversing it. So, and that's what I have essentially on ISMA Choral Festival. It's a big, important event. There's a couple other jobs that I have in there too that I think we'll be able to fill, especially with the student side of things, like runners and a performance MC, things like that. So, if you are listening to this and you're a parent, feel free to reach out to me if you are interested in any one of those jobs. I might also be able to do a sign-up genius for anything that we need after the fact. If you are a student, my goal is to get the sign-up clipboards to your leaders, like your NHS leaders and your Key Club leaders, and get those meetings going where I can say, okay, if you're interested in helping, I just need you to sign up for something, and I'll get you trained up, and it'll be good to go. Okay, so that is largely what I have. Again, we really appreciate everybody's help here because it's a great event, and I've been a proud host for the past several years. You know, the first couple of years it was a lot of like learning the systems and stuff, but we feel really, really good about it. We've been doing this about as long as we've been doing the mattress fundraiser. I think those two things are pretty correlated. So, okay, that is what I've got. I hope you. Oh, and then the last thing is New York City. So I just wanted to pop in here quick. So if you are not enrolled in the New York City trip, well, you can stick around for a second because I've got an update. So the New York City trip, we did not hit our enrollment goal. In order to essentially go on this trip, especially for the initial agreed upon price, you have to hit a certain number, and we did not hit that number. So we are having to pivot from the 2025 trip. So instead, we're going to go into a 2026 trip. So we're now delaying this by a year in an attempt to get more people interested and involved. We First of all, I want to apologize that it happened. Those people who are signed up for the trip, we're really looking forward to it. They've been paying on it. They've been allocating their personal resources to this, and we didn't quite hit the numbers elsewhere. So we're gonna need. Number one thing is I'm really excited for this 2026 trip now. It's largely the same trip with a couple changes there. It also gives us another year to fundraise, and what I'd like to do with that opportunity is set more money aside for that trip, so I can say, okay, we've got, we're going to be really stingy with sheet music next year. We're going to be really stingy with, suits and dresses. We have really well organized now, and kids are not stealing them by forgetting them at home. Every year we would lose 20 to 30 dresses just because kids kept forgetting to bring them in. Those are $100 a piece after we've dry cleaned and gotten them modified. You do the math, $3,000, right? So I want to take that opportunity to be stingy, to be really resourceful, I should probably say, be really resourceful with what we have, and then really amp up some fundraising and just start cutting into the cost for this for students. To make it more accessible, because I think that was part of it. I think what we're seeing from kind of, I guess, some anecdotally, what I'm seeing is students are afraid to go to their parents and ask for that sort of money. And I'm going, I get it. I absolutely get it. Because it's a big deal. And when we went in 2022, I won't share the exact number, but we went in 2022, we did a similar trip to New York City, but we did a post-COVID trip, but we had locked in the price 2 years prior because we were trying to go. We had proposed this trip before COVID, so essentially we got a post-COVID trip for a pre-COVID price. I guarantee that company lost money on us because they were under contract, but now they're like, okay, well, the actual number is this, the fair amount is this. And so I want to do right by everybody and use our resources here as best we can to make that an easier thing for everyone. So, that's kind of where I'm at with this. I want to hype kids up for this trip. Right now, we're just kind of bummed out because it didn't go the way we were hoping. But it can, and it will. Like in 2026, I'm really optimistic that this is going to be a big thing, and that we're gonna have a great choir go with us. We're gonna have a lot of people on the trip and have a great experience. That 2022 trip, y'all, I will never forget it. I'll never forget it. In fact, of course, I printed out the article. And I've laminated it and hung that up. But one of my students was so moved by that trip, he made me a 3D print of St. Patrick's Cathedral, because we performed in St. Patrick's Cathedral. Like he took the time to do that for us, and I just thought that was really cool. So this is one that kids don't forget, and it's every moment of that trip in 2022 and for 2026. Very well thought out. It's one of those of like, you can see New York by yourself, but to go to New York or to any city with a group, with a performing group, it's a different ball game, y'all. So that's the announcement on New York City. It's a good trip. We're really, really looking forward to it. And I'm going to hype it up even more. But I think the schema that we're facing, Piaget, if you don't know, is students are like, I just don't want to ask my parents for that kind of money. And the fact that we're kind of resetting in the spring means that the payments are the amount is stretched out to more payments. So we're trying to make it more accessible for students. So, okay. That's what I got. I'm going to be done. It was great seeing everybody last night, and I hope you all are doing great. Under 30 minutes. Not bad. Okay.